Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk, back again with another 3D project for you, and this time it would fit Ferrero's, I'm pretty sure, but actually it's just a really pretty gift box that you could pop anything in. I mean, it would be great to, obviously with 2 or 3, probably fit 3 Ferrero in there I think, but really I'm thinking it would be lovely as a jewellery container, particularly with Mothering Sunday coming up here in the UK. And this is made using some absolutely beautiful designer series paper that you can get free with Celebration. So every £45 you get to choose a level 1 product, and this is one of them. You get 3 sheets of each of these beautiful patterns. There's a lovely rose gold dot pattern, this one here that I've used. There's a super stripy one, and then a beautiful floral one as well, which is absolutely gorgeous when it's coloured in as well. So I'm sure you can see the shine on that. So that's the project that we're going to make. I'm going to stick with this pattern because I think it just works so well with the leaves. So this is what it looks like. So you can see you've got gold and silver foiling on there, and I've just paired that here with some die cuts using the petal palette leaves that are available, which I just thought added to it and added that bit of dimension. This ribbon I'm fairly sure is retired now, but obviously you could use any gold or silver or similar satin ribbon or anything that you wanted just to make it a pretty gift, and I've attached that on the top. It does close with a magnet. I've popped a magnet on the inside and on the lip, but you could obviously just tuck it behind the disc on the front as well, and that would sort of hold it in place. I just felt that the magnet really made it nice and secure. So beautiful gift box, if I do say so myself. So pleased with how it worked out. So we're going to start by cutting into this lovely paper, and I'm really on a mission to try and use more of my paper because it's very easy to just sit there and kind of go, oh, it's beautiful, I'm not going to touch it. So first of all we're going to cut it at 7 inches, so just on the top here, line it up at the 7, at the top, which you can't see, there we go, we're just lining it up on the 7 mark here and cut that away, and that really leaves a very useful size piece as well. Then we're going to just trim this down very slightly to 11 3/4 inches. So just make sure that's butted up nicely to the top and trim that little skimpy bit off the edge. So with your card in landscape portrait orientation, you're going to, that means the short edge at the top, score at 1.5 inches. And with this I'm scoring gently but going back up on itself as well, at 4.5 inches, and then at 6 inches. Then you're going to score the long edge, again at 1.5 inches. At 5.5 inches. At 7 inches. And at 11 inches. Right over there. So you can pop your trimmer away now. You're going to need your embossing tool and your trusty ruler. Oh no, you're not going to pop your trimmer away at all. You're going to get your trim back out because there's one more lot of scoring that you need to do. So we're going to score where you've got the short section at the top. You're going to score just to the second score line. At 2 inches, at 5 inches, at 7.5 inches, and then 10.5 inches. Now you can put your scoreboard away. And now you need your embossing tool, because what you're going to do is you're going to join the bottom of these short score lines to this point here at the top of the score line at the bottom. So we're just going to draw a diagonal. So again, we've got another one here. And you're going to do 4 of these, and that's just to make that pretty angled edge. Okay. So it might be easier if I turn it over. Let's see if you can see. Perhaps not. So what you've actually got, if we let me show you by folding it. We've got a shortish section at the top here. That's going to be our flap over the top. Then we've got the top. This bottom bit here is going to be our base. So again, although I'm burnishing, I'm just doing that nice and gently to start off with. I'm then going to fold up the vertical score lines. These are the ones that go all the way from the top to the bottom. And then the diagonals just come down on the either side of the larger of the panels. I'm going to trim up the bottom here and just notch those out slightly, because those are going to be our tabs, and this is going to be the base of our box. The beautiful thing about this DSP, well, it's foiled card, is that it is so sturdy. And certainly if you were making bridesmaids gifts or gifts for mothers of the bride, this would be absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. So we've cut up these bottom sections, and we're going to do some trimming on the top section. And what I want you to do is remember, this little bit at the back is going to be the back. So you're trimming away all of this here, but keeping the tabs at the end of with the short section on the side. So you're going to cut down. So here's our short flap, and we're going to cut down either side of the longer flap. And then we're going to cut away. Now obviously it seems to be a little bit wasteful, but these little scraps will act as lovely accent pieces on other projects. So I shall die cut them, or I shall cut them using my punches just to create that lovely effect. Okay. So once you've done that trimming, you're going to end up with a piece like this, with flaps at the bottom, a large flap up here, and where you've scored the vertical lines. Now you've done the vertical ones and you've cut those flaps, you can then score these diagonal ones. So if you just ease them gently with your fingers and then come in with your bone folder to burnish, and then go back on yourself, because those are going to fold in. So go with the line of your crease to start off with and burnish, and then back on itself and really burnish well. So as I said, there are 4 of those to do. And the last one is the one over here. So this one is on the side of the tab. So again, fold over, burnish well, and then burnish on the reverse. Once you've done that, we're going to trim the flaps at the top with my corner rounder, which now seems to be eluding me because it's hidden behind the punches. I only have a small craft desktop to work on, so it does mean that things tend to get a little bit mixed up. And while it's flat, I'm going to pop some tape along the inside of this flap, and I'm using red tape and just coming along the inside here, like so. And that's what I'm going to use for my ribbon. And then on this front flap as well is where I'm going to put some more red tape. Obviously you could use fuse if you like. I just find I can sort of get the gluing done and see where it's at. Find that I do use fuse. And then the last piece of tape is going to go on the side here. Now the only tricky bit about this is just doing this flap here, and just make sure that you fold it square rather than to the angle. So fold it over, and there's our basic box. And to put it together, all you need to do is to pop those flaps in with a good squeeze. Like so, and fold the bottom up. So if we just, I don't know what my son is doing upstairs, but he's making a lot of noise. I'm hoping my new microphone means you won't be picking up too much of that, but who knows. So next thing to do is to cut a length of ribbon, and you can really cut whatever length you want. I kept it quite short as I found it went a little bit floppy before. And then the sentiment we're going to be using is just using some of our silver embossing powder. So actually I've used about a 12-inch piece of ribbon, I suppose. Just like so. And by joining it in the middle, it just neatens it off, as you've got there. Now for the magnets, I'm using these really small magnets that you can get all over the place on the internet. eBay is a really good place to pick them up, and they're these neodymium magnets. And I find a glue dot is a good way of attaching them. So I attach a glue dot and pop it in the middle, about 3/4 of an inch down, so a couple of centimetres like so. Then I put my second magnet on the outside, then attach the glue dot, and then squeezing that together so that the front comes over. My box doesn't want to play. There we go. Just all I'm doing there is I'm just squeezing those sides in so that is nice and square on the front. And then it'll pick up the magnet. And once it's picked it up, you're fine. Okay, and as you can see, it will hold quite nicely there with that magnet on the top. But as I said, it's really nice to put a little sentiment on the front. So to do that, first thing to do is to use your embossing buddy just to get any greasy marks off your cardstock. I'm then using the sentiment from the lovely Basket of Wishes, Happy Day, Happy Year, Happy Life, which I thought was a lovely sentiment for somebody for a birthday. I'm then going to use my Versamark ink, which is a really old pad. It's looking a little bit worse to wear, but it does the trick. And I've got a scrap piece of card here that I'm just going to use underneath to catch that embossing powder. Those of you who watch my videos will know that I probably don't use embossing powder that much, and there's a reason. Usually when I use it, it ends up everywhere because I either forget to put the lid back on or I knock it over. So if we can manage not to do either of those, that'll be quite a miracle. Then all I'm going to do, have a bit of noise for a few moments, but I'm just going to heat that up until it changes colour and melts. So you'll see it'll just start to, by doing it underneath, you can just see it start to shine there. So very quick and easy. I'm going to punch that out with my 1.5 inch punch. And I'm then going to punch a circle of gold with my 1 3/4 inch punch. Then I've already pre-die cut these branches from some silver foil card. And all I've done is just trimmed those into pieces. And I'm going to stick them on the back of there. So I'm going to put plenty of fuse on the back. And then I'm just arranging them sort of diagonally. On the back here, just to create a sort of a little silvery spray. That can then go with a bit more fuse on the back onto the front there. And then all that remains is to pop a couple of dimensionals down towards the lower section of this, because you want space for it to overlap at the top with our flap. Pop that on there, and there you have a handbag gift box to give someone a special gift. I hope you get to make one too, and that you've enjoyed following on with my tutorial. Please do visit my online shop if you want to buy purchase any Stampin' Up supplies, heidismith.stampinup.net, and obviously as usual I'll be putting all the measurements on my blog as well, which is flutterbyheidi.co.uk. Thanks for crafting with me. See you again soon. Bye now.